What's going on, everybody? Foxhound Finance back with another AMC update for you guys. Please remember that I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in my videos is financial advice. All right, we are going to jump right into the video, guys, starting off with a quick update look on the box office numbers currently. All right, looking at the total for Q2 compared to 2025, 2026 comparison to 2025. In 2025, you had $2.67 billion total generated, okay, in gross income for the box office. All right. And then 2026, currently, we're sitting at $2.3 billion roughly. All right. Now, really, what I want you to see is the quarter to date, real quick. And obviously, as I just said, we're at $2.3 billion currently for 2026. We are ahead of 2025 Q2, same time frame, by about 140 million ish dollars. All right. And this is on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. that I'm recording the video. So these numbers are not fully updated. Originally, I said we were going to be about 2.5 billion to 2.7 billion. And honestly, I think we're going to far exceed that by at least a couple $100 million. All right. And that is huge because, again, it is painting the picture why the stock is moving the way it's moving, the price action that we're getting here. So looking at this, I was thinking, if we could stay about plus 200 million ahead of 2025, guys. Well, if we go back, like I said, and we look at not this, we look at by quarter, just add $200 million, right, on this, and you're looking at $2.87 billion for Q2 2026, potentially 2.9 billion. 3 would be insane. That would be like the last 2 weeks, guys. If we can crush that, and I mean, you're talking about putting 600. No, it'd be like $800 million in the last 2 weeks would be nuts. But Toy Story 5 is coming out. We have the Supergirl movie coming out. So we have a couple movies still left, banger wise, and ones that just dropped that could get us there. It would be nuts to see that, finish out the last 2 weeks of the quarter. But we have 2 weeks left. 2 weeks. So go see the damn movie, see 5 movies, and let's get this thing going. All right. But nonetheless, that's the update, guys, with the box office numbers. It obviously looks really freaking good. Let's take a look at my charts real quick here. Switch screens. Let's go over to. There we go. All right, I'm not going to do a deep dive analysis video again here, guys, breaking the entire structure of my chart down. So if you are new, you're going to want to look at the prior content, look at my last deep dive analysis video, and I kind of explain everything that's going on. But for the people that have been following along, we're going to start off at our all-time low point here, all right? And we're going to talk about the structure part first and the progression of the price action before we look at our indicators, all right? So looking at the 93-cent low that came in at the end of March, beginning of April 2026, we have done nothing but come out of this thing, break our resistances here, and just continue to wave in and out, all right, of our support, and then hitting new, I wouldn't say, like, we'll say more recent highs, not all-time highs, obviously, but compared to this downward channel that we've been stuck in, guys, since the top of it for May 2025, so about a year plus. This is huge that we're seeing this kind of reversal happening. And again, I just showed you fundamentally why we're getting some of that push, right? So really what I did was, like I said before, I drew out this yellow projection line here to show you what it would look like with a very slow build with this move, not a squeeze type move. And again, squeeze scenarios, I already explained what that would look like, guys. And really, all you need to know for a squeeze scenario is what levels AMC has to work through resistance wise, which pretty much I cover every video anyway. Now, the only thing that really changes between the two moves is obviously the speed, which, of course, everybody wants to fast move. But nonetheless, this is still progressing you through all of those levels that I talked about in all those videos that we have to break no matter what. Doesn't matter if AMC squeezes or not. It has to break the levels, though, right? Like, you can get a big surge up to this red line, but you still have to break it, right? And you still have to go to those gap fills that I talked about over here and have to get up to these levels. You have to break this ceiling here, right? There's still areas that the stock could retrace to, okay? Or retrace from even. So that was a slow scenario that I built out. And if we look at the price action updated, you guys can see that I have not updated anything. I have not updated my support line. I have not updated the trajectory here. I've left it alone. And the only deviation that I'm seeing between the price action and how it's moving is a little bit of the timing, but also the price levels, right? Like up here, AMC is technically supposed to be up to like 322, by 625. But I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future. And if I could, you guys and me would all be billionaires on my channel, right? So that's not the case, but you can see roughly it is following this wave-like pattern, right? Up, down, but creating new highs and then lower lows. So we're getting higher highs and then higher lows, which is a huge deal. Okay, that's what we want to see, especially with this kind of V-shape reversal. But as our price action, guys, that's what we're seeing. And like I said, VP-wise, we'll cover this a little bit later, but you can see that we're working up to that dotted line, just like I told you in the last few videos, is that when I saw the reversal coming and I looked at the volume profile over here, I said, yup, it's pretty clear. There's no resistance in here. There's no significant volume bars, at least until right here at $2.77. We are working our way up there. There's no doubt. And of course, that is exactly what we're doing. We're very close. I think we closed around, it's like 240 was the high, but we closed at 234. So we're sitting around 40 cents off that target. And I told you when we get up there, we'll see how price responds. It's either going to print above it, and then we're going to start really accelerating that gap over here, or it's going to take a breather here and we're going to come down. And when we jump into the first indicator, our pivot points, it kind of explains to you what could happen. All right. And when you look at the resistance targets of the month, I already told you that when you're getting these candles to print above this blue pivot line, then you're most likely going to start to at least test these resistance targets 1, 2, and 3 right here. And we already broke R1, we already broke through R2, and we're just below R3, all right, which is $2.49. Now, when you look at, let's say back here, the last big surge in April, okay, we had our pivot point lines here in April generate. You saw the reversal from the 93-cent low, like I said. Well, we blasted right through R1, 2, 3, and even past R3 pretty significantly. Now, after that, you cooled down, right? You got pulled back down. And again, it got a little sketchy right here because I saw my ascending support line get broken. I said, oh, damn, I don't want us to come back down here to do this retest thing. But it is what it is. And instead of that happening, we actually got the rebound out of it and we got back on my support line. You see all the candles stacking and printing here. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And then, boom, we got another huge rip right through off the support line. And we're pretty much doing the same thing. So without beating a dead horse here, if we follow this trend, guys, where we blow through R3, I could see us reaching this dotted line and then probably taking a breather and reversing off this. And why I say that is because you've had several days where you've just been kind of like melting up here. And I know RSI is probably going to be overbought, and that would probably require us to kind of cool down a little bit, right? So, like I said, if this is the trend right now where we're going to have these huge bursts up and then we're going to cool off a little bit and have another huge burst up, I'm fine with that. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to take a little longer for you to get that money that you're looking for, right? But we're still hitting the targets that we need to from what I can see right now. And that is huge. So right now, that's what I'm looking for, is how we're going to respond at R3 and how are we going to respond when we get here. All right. Let's take a look at the MACD real quick. On the daily, you could see we flipped bullish right here at the end of May, and we have just been holding steady, guys. We have not fallen yet. You have not seen the orange line here, the MACD line, cross back down the blue line here, the signal line. So still bullish momentum hitting the tape. When we look at the weekly, definitely apparent that we're still there. We have not even seen a slightest, little evidence that this is going to curl back down yet. All right. And again, it wouldn't make sense based on everything that we see happening. Other than worldly events that could potentially mess this up, right, or cause some kind of pullback, we're looking really good. And then the last time frame, as I said before, was the quarterly. All right. Now we're not going to see that quarterly candle print yet because we have to wait till end of Q2. So when the next quarterly MACD candle comes in here, you're going to see whether this thing flips or not. And I think, honestly, it would take something, like I said, catastrophic, guys, for this MACD line to not cross the signal line. It is way, way too close. All right. And again, as I said before, you have this visual representation of the bear case dying right in front of you. This is the last breath of the bear case right here for AMC. All right, from what I can see. Just based on the MACD alone, that looks like the last dying breath of the bear case to me. And again, if we get the MACD line to cross that signal line, look at the momentum that came in when this was very superficial at the time, right? This was not accurate representation of the health of AMC. It was just the timing of the markets, the economy with the inflation, the post-COVID situation with money coming into the economy. That's really a huge lie. But when you get this crossing on a solid fundamental foundation, I'm telling you guys right now, I could see that bullish momentum continue. And I'm going to compare this to another stock in a little bit so you guys can understand also how I could see this progressing, which is already in that slow pace kind of look anyway. But I think you'll be pretty excited if you guys are returners to the channel here. You know exactly kind of where I'm probably going to go to here. But MACD looks great. Pivot point looks great. EMA's phenomenal. You cannot make this shit up, guys, how good this looks right now. These EMAs are killing it. I mean, they're all crossing over. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see. But I told you that when you get these crossovers happening, more momentum is going to continue to compile. So with that being said, you have your 48 and the 100 has already crossed, right? 48's crossed your 100. And again, you're going to keep getting that momentum. As I said, those chain reactions like a domino effect. The 9-day, the shortest EMA is crossing over the 200. You have your 1, 2, 3 daily candles printing very strongly above the 200 EMA. What did we say in the past about how much resistance the 200 EMA has caused us, guys? Tons. So many halts, 12, 13 halts, I think, at that 200 EMA every time AMC got up to it. Even when AMC broke above it, it would just get sucked back underneath. You'd have like a 50, 60% drop in the stock, and then that thing would just stay compressed under it. All right. So now this is the first time, guys, in a while and so long. I mean, got to be years since we've seen AMC hold steady above its 200 EMA. That is a huge signal when price gets above the 200 EMA. Those algos are going to start buying up this stock, okay? So that is something to continue to monitor whether AMC can hold the 200 EMA long term and just keep pressing. And if we do pull back, if we even just sit on top of the 200, right? I'm fine with that. If this becomes the reversal point, I'm cool with that. All right. So we're going to see whether that continues, if AMC pulls back to there or my support line. All right. But nonetheless, it's looking really good. I mean, there's nothing more I can even say about the EMAs other than we're just going to continue pushing up. I mean, at this point, you got crossovers happening left and right. So looks insane. So we already got our pivot points out the way. We got our MACD out the way. We have the EMAs out of the way. Let's just take a quick look at that volume profile like I told you before. And if I put up the normal volume here, I mean, look at this right here. I mean, just tons of volume coming in. Okay, tons of volume coming in compared to here. I mean, just look at it. So that's a good sign when you have all this volume coming in, especially if we mark it right here. You could just see the increase in volume. And I mean, look at these huge spikes too in the mix. So volume on the regular is looking good, but then when you look at the levels, right, that I talked about, this big volume bar here, when we get past it, I said this in the past, I'm probably beating the dead horse, but I don't care. I told you guys above this blue line, these bars here, look how short they are. You're going to fill this pocket bare minimum in here. Okay. And what does that look like? Well, when you break above the line, you're going to see the price action do this. All right. Let's say we're here. And again, I'm not going to follow it over here. We're just going to go right here. When price meets this area, you're probably going to get a push all the way through here, at least until you hit these two bars here. Okay. Because that is the next most significant volume, which again, like I told you, does serve as an attraction piece, but also resistance. Okay. So that level would put you right around between $4.60 up to like $5.10, guys, those two bars. So that looks incredible. All right. That's exactly what I want to see is getting above this big bar. Once we're done with this, you pretty much have a straight shot through this. Even this here is not much resistance, right? And by the time we get up here, you're probably going to start to see the results of Q2 anyway, and it's going to be bullish. So that's probably going to send us past this. And again, these bars start to descend into nothing. So getting really, really close to the big break. Okay. When you get past this, guys, you're talking about shooting up to like $12 over here. Okay. If AMC can get past its descending 1390 resistance line, right, in the midst of that, which as you're working your way up to that, I mean, look at where it meets it. it's going to be dead on, guys. You're going to be dead on right here, touching the 1390 resistance descending line here. I mean, it's really, really looking good. So that is your VP. But really, guys, what I want to end the video on was if we just take a quick look at none other than Carvana, which they just did think it was a forward split or something like that. I'm going to have to look at this on the weekly because this is so spread out. Now, as you guys know, if you've been following me, I've mentioned Carvana being one of those stocks in a very similar position as AMC, which was, here, this massive drop off. Carvana was at risk of going bankrupt. And really, in a nutshell, they obviously refinanced the debt. They did all the things that AMC is doing. Okay. They've done all the things that AMC is doing, except where AMC is lagging is just printing that consistent profit. That's the only difference, right? AMC is a little slow to that point, but we're now starting to get there. Like I said, with where the box office numbers are sitting, we're really getting close to those 2018, 2019 numbers. Okay. So once that happened and Carvana started refinancing the debt, I don't even think it was even doing that hot other than just refinancing the debt was like the main thing. And you saw the reversal back from here and it just kept slowly creeping up, right? And that's what Carvana did. It was all in waves. Like, look at this. Built up, had big pullbacks, back up, big pullbacks, and just kept continuing to ascend. So these are the updated prices, right? Obviously, Carvana was like a $400 stock. It was ridiculous. It went from about $3, guys, to $400. Okay, for Carvana. $3 to $400 plus. Okay, I think it might have been up to like 460 or something. But let's just take a look at what the equivalent is now. So 71 cents to $97. I mean, you're talking about a 100x move here. Okay, a 100x move. That's ridiculous. So I'm not saying AMC is going to have a 100x move, but I am telling you that you've seen this kind of trend before. If you're not going to squeeze, right, out of, the bankruptcy fears and the reversal of the fundamentals, like even if we got that slow build like this, guys, I mean, think about that. Just year after year, you're, just stacking money from this freaking thing. It's ridiculous. So I could see that being one of the similar scenarios for AMC is if we're not going to get the big boom candles like we did here, right? Which again, this is not real. This is not reality based price action. Then, even getting those slow giant, jumps periodically through each quarter, something like that could be the new wave for the movement here. But again, I already told you where I fight myself somewhat on that is this cliff here, right? This cliff is just straight, like literally a couple candles, like 2 weeks, right? 2 to 3 weeks of candles just done, right? All the way down. And I told you that when you break this ceiling here, you can get that massive jump right up this. So however it's going to look, if we're going to look jumpy in the beginning and then we're going to sell off a little bit and then start to slowly have those waves, either way, guys, where this thing is headed, it looks really freaking good. So I think that's really it, man. That's all I wanted to paint for you guys today. I guess the last thing I could say is if you compare the health of the stock, even back here at these price levels before the squeeze, like guys, $116, even down here, $58, yeah, $46 here, even through all this price action here, like we're in a 10 times better spot than we were in any of this price action, right? So it only makes sense that we get back up to some of these levels, in my opinion. All right. So that is it, guys. That's all I have for you. I'll keep you up to date. But right now, just understand that this is where we're at. We're in this box down here. We've got to break these levels before the real fun begins. Okay. So I will see you guys in the next update video. Everybody have a great rest of your Sunday. All right. Take care.